Welcome back, guys and girls, to our series on some of football's biggest cult heroes, the most iconic faces of a game that has captured the hearts and minds of the planet for years. Next up is a bloke who was pretty good at football himself and was particularly revered as a cult figure in his hometown of Rome. His legacy as an icon is wonderfully summed up in the following quote from Zdeněk Zeman, his former coach. Totti is what every child dreams of being when they grow up. A fan that becomes a champion that becomes a symbol that becomes a legend. What perfect poetry from Zeman to effortlessly describe the dream of every child made reality by one Francesco Totti, the real emperor of Rome and one of a dying breed in football, a one-club man.
Pallonetto, Francesco Totti, un gol pazzesco!
Not just a special talent, but a loyal Roman, Totti spent a lifetime at his boyhood club. It all started back in 1984 when Francesco Totti began playing youth football, where he usually competed in the age groups above him, such was his class. Totti honed his skills with various clubs before being scouted by AC Milan at a young age. Now, you might be thinking, I don't remember Totti playing for Milan. Well, that's because he didn't. Totti's mother was simply having none of it. She wanted young Francesco to be able to stay at home in Rome and grow up there. She wasn't anti-football, she just didn't want him moving away at such a young age, so it would have to be Roma or Lazio. Both of the capital's top clubs were in for Totti, and it looked like he might have been heading for the blue side of town even though he was a massive Roma fan as a kid. His youth team had agreed a deal with Lazio, but history as we know it was saved when Gildo Giannini, a Roma youth coach, persuaded Totti's parents to let him join the club's youth setup in 1989. The rest is history. 3 years later in 1992, Francesco Totti would make his senior debut for Roma at just 16 years of age. By 1995, Totti was still a teenager, but now a regular in the Roma starting 11. Totti's role as the face of the club became apparent the following year when the manager didn't fancy him and it looked like a loan move might be on the cards. The club weren't having it, just like the fans. Totti stayed and manager Bianchi left. Between 97 and 99, under the guise of the manager Zeman, who provided us with that beautiful quote, Totti made a distinct transition from boy to man. This young footballer became a football star. Physically, technically and tactically, everything began to fall into place for the young Roman. In those 2 seasons, he would improve on and off the ball, in his play and in his numbers of goals and assists too. The system suited his quality and he would regularly drift in off the left-hand side of a 4-3-3 to strike with his wand of a right foot. Off the ball he worked hard, he matured, and he had fantastic relationships with his coach and teammates. Totti was on his way to becoming the King of Rome. In the same period, Totti became club captain at just 22 years of age and received the iconic number 10 jersey. He had the highest rating of any Serie A player for the 97-98 season and was named the Serie A Young Player of the Season in 98-99. Totti began to shine in the media too. He had a bright smile and was popular amongst all. He also began his relationship with the Rome derby by scoring a key goal against fierce rivals Lazio. Ahead of the 2000-2001 season, Fabio Capello was appointed head coach of Roma. His job was to build a team around Francesco Totti that could give them a chance of a first title in 18 years. Totti was the key playmaker in a 3-4-1-2 system for the Giallorossi and provided key goals in the first half of the campaign that saw Roma lead at the halfway point. Vincenzo Montella and Gabriele Battistuta provided key threats in attack to aid Totti's brilliance, and Roma surged towards a historic title. The trophy returned to AS Roma for just the 3rd time in their history come the end of the season, and ever since then they've been runners-up on a whopping 9 occasions, but failed to lift that 4th title. The Scudetto coming to Roma after a 13-goal season from Totti, the local boy, cemented his status as a club legend. A bit like Maradona in Naples, Totti's league success with Roma saw him begin to adorn the walls of his own city. A bit like Maradona in Naples, it meant something more. His great achievement for his club, his people and his city was immortalised in murals and paintings across the town, and Totti was named Serie A Player of the Year for 2000-2001. In the following season, team accolades would slip through the fingers of a great Roma side that challenged again in the Serie A and came up with some historic results in Europe. But on a personal level, Totti was now the king. He was as much a celebrity as a footballer, a man who was loved more than any because his native blood and history of supporting Roma were very clear for fans to see. 2006 would be the last time that Francesco Totti would play for his national side Italy, but it was also the year he became a World Cup champion. Totti had been injured in the lead up to the tournament, and the media were very sceptical that he would or even should play any part in the finals. Italian boss Marcello Lippi, however, had every faith in the Roman, and the legend would play in every single game of the tournament, including the final when Italy beat France on penalties to lift the most important trophy in football. Totti and names like Pirlo, Gattuso and Inzaghi became heroes forever as they lifted the 2006 World Cup in Germany. Totti kissed the trophy, bathed in an Italian flag, and was also named in the squad of the tournament after his key contributions on the pitch. So the man from Rome did it all, for club and for country. And what is more is that he never left. Pastures new were never sought, and instead Totti will hold the keys to the kingdom of Rome forever. Totti mocked Lazio fans after he scored against them. He married Italian TV sensation Ilari Blasi on live TV and gave the profits of the broadcast to charity. They were known as the Italian Beckhams. He brought the title back to Rome and the World Cup back to Italy. It's hard to put into words what a legend this man was at home. Totti played football like an artist and showed his creative side with his goal celebrations too. From selfies with the Roma faithful to revealing t-shirts with messages like "Sorry for my recent goal drought." Totti was a character who captivated Rome and will forever be an icon in his hometown. From delightful chips to long-range thunderbolts, his goals reel is off the charts. He made volleying football look effortless, and he could make passes that others couldn't even see. Totti would help Roma to 2 more Coppa Italia titles between 2006 and 2008, and also be awarded the title of Italian Footballer of the Year 5 times, before finally stepping down from his professional career in 2017. What a player! Can you think of a more impressive one-club man? Someone who made the game look so easy? Anybody as big of an icon as the one Francesco Totti, who lived the dream of every Roman? Let us know in the comments below and hit the subscribe button for the next video.